Awesome. We definitely are grateful for this class because we used a lot of the stuff that we practiced in here. But it was also different than I think how either of us had pictured it.
Yeah. It was, so just to kind of set the scene for you, on Wednesday, Megan and I coached lacrosse. On Wednesday night we were out at lacrosse practice and we went home.
Yeah.
We had some dinner, went to bed, woke up at 12:30 in the morning and Megan pushing me and saying, my water just broke.
Yeah. I woke up thinking I just had to pee, and so I got out of bed, and all of a sudden it was like things were leaking, and I was like, this is not pee. And so it was just like kind of a slow leak. It wasn't like a big waterfall gush or anything. And yeah, so I woke Nico up, and he was like, what? Seriously? So we were so excited. We were like, okay, like, don't get too excited.
We got time.
Like, we got this. Like, yeah, relax. Like, okay, let's like take showers and hang out on the couch and watch TV and just like ride it out. And so we did that. We went out to the living room and just started.
Yeah, so it was, at first it was, you know, fun, and we were hanging out and relaxing, and Megan was like, oh, I'm starting to feel them a little bit, and it feels like cramps. And
yeah, and I was like, is this a contraction? I don't know. Like, I feel like I would know if it was a contraction.
And very quickly
Yeah.
it turned into the real deal.
Yeah, like we weren't out in the living room for like 20 minutes until I started feeling them, and I was like, I think I should start timing these and just see like where I'm at. And
At this point we had called our doula and let her know, woke her up in the middle of the night.
yeah.
Called the hospital, let them know that we're probably going to be coming in at some point this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, you started.
They were like
used
6 minutes
the ball
apart.
a little
Yeah.
bit, and
Yeah, use the birth ball. Like, so, okay, so all the things that we practiced here came naturally to us when we were at home. Like, when I was in the shower, Nico lit candles in our room, and so it was like super relaxing environment. He turned on music for us, and we have our little affirmations hanging up in our room all over the place. So that was like little reminders as I got out of the shower and stuff. So everything was cool, and then as the contractions started getting more intense, I was like, okay, like we really got to like dig deep into remembering what the things we learned. So using the birth ball and like stretching out over it and breathing. Like for me, at home, I was still like very aware of how I was handling contractions, and like I could kind of talk through it with him and breathe through it. And I started getting into a rhythm, like a pattern where I would count my breaths. And so I would like, you know, I wasn't counting out loud, I was counting in my head, but I kind of knew that it would take me about 10 breaths to get through a contraction.
surge.
Yeah, surge, a surge. And so by the time like 5th or 6th breath came around, I was like, okay, I got this, I'll like ride it out. And then I had like 5 minutes to, you know, relax before the next one. But sure enough, like they started coming on a lot quicker.
Yeah, so we called the doula when we were just over like 4 minutes, 4:11, and she said, hang out. And, you know,
We still have
Still
time.
got time. And very quickly we got to about 2:11.
And she's like, put Megan back in the shower.
Yeah.
Get her back in the shower, and then get your stuff together, and you guys can head out to the hospital. By this time, it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and so I got in the shower, and I did not want to get out. So I was sitting in the bathtub, and the shower was on, and it took me forever to get out, and they were just getting like more and more intense, and to the point where like I couldn't talk through them anymore. I couldn't breathe through them. I had to like really focus on breathing through them. Meanwhile, as this is going on, Nico is like seriously such a champ. He was running around the house, getting our like bags together. He would come in, push the start on our, like when I would say okay it's starting, he would push the start on our our surge timer thing, and help me work through it. Yeah, be behind me.
And then as soon as we hit stop, I'd like ran out, grabbed the car, like pulled it up to the front, then we were like into the next one.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, now grab the bags, load them in, and then we're like back, and I'm like into the next one.
So
Timing in between. It's like, all
So
right,
amazing,
You
yeah.
know, we were two weeks before our due date, so
Yeah. We weren't
didn't
100% ready, yeah.
So anyways, we head out, and Megan was in the back seat.
I have my 40 blinks on, which are the best.
Yeah.
Total lifesaver. because at this point it was like 7:15 in the morning, like prime traffic, and as soon as we got on the 56, it was like dead, stop and go traffic, and thank God for those 40 blinks. And I feel so bad because we were bumper to bumper traffic, and I'm in the back seat like on all fours, just probably looking like a crazy person because I have these things on my eyes. And he's driving me, like, I'm wondering what people are thinking at this point. But the great thing is I had no worries in the world because I couldn't see anything, so it was like, those things are amazing. So it took us about 45 minutes to get to the hospital, which you guys, like, we always hear laboring in the car is the worst, and it's the worst. 45 minutes, but
you did it.
Yeah, it was good. We made it there.
So we got there, and they had us in triage, and they were kind of assessing Megan. Unfortunately, her blood pressure was a little bit too high, so we weren't able to get into the birthing center.
Which was a bummer. That was like what we want. We wanted to be in the birthing center, but I don't know. My contractions felt at this point like so close together. I didn't feel like I had. Sorry, surgeons. I didn't feel like I had much of a break in between, and so they were taking my blood pressure, but it would be like right before surgery was about to start. So I didn't feel like I could calm myself down and get like a nice low blood pressure. So after being in triage for like, I don't know, how long were we in there? It felt like a long time, like maybe an hour.
Yeah.
Then finally they were just like, okay, we're just going to send you to labor and delivery. So while we were in triage, my first contraction or surge, once we got up into the room out of the elevator, my body started pushing, which was crazy because I didn't know how far along I was. I had never been checked at any of my prenatal appointments, so I had no idea like how far along I was in the spectrum of centimeters, and my body started pushing, and I was like, holy smokes, this is crazy, because it was totally involuntary. And right after we got into the room, I started bleeding, and like blood started kind of pooling up down by my ankles, and that scared me a lot.
It scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I was like not expecting that, and nurses were really calm to their credit. They're like, yeah, that's normal, that happens.
Yeah.
And they kind of like talked us through everything, but that definitely scared me. But it's good to be prepared to know that kind of stuff is coming.
Yeah. And from there, it got like more and more intense. So they came in, they brought in a delivery cart because they were thinking like, well, if your body's pushing, that means it might be close. And then the midwife came in, and she checked me, and she was like, okay, you're at a 5. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm only at 5. Just like how we talk about in class, like maybe you don't want to know the number because then you're thinking like, holy smokes, I'm only halfway there and I have so much farther to go, and this is so intense, and like I'm doing everything I can, but I feel like I'm starting to get to that out of body experience.
And then at this point, it was when our doula showed up.
Yeah.
She was caught in some really nasty traffic getting to the hospital.
Yeah.
And it was a godsend to have her show up.
God.
Like, I didn't realize how much they actually did. Obviously, you hear about it, but like the difference between when she got there and before she got there was huge, night and day.
Yeah.
And so then it was like a real team effort.
Yeah, the three of us.
Kind of getting through this.
She was amazing.
And then they moved us into a labor and delivery room.
Yeah. And she was amazing. She was helping us to change positions, and like at this point I was beyond like I felt not able to be coherent. Like I was totally in that primal instinct mode where I wasn't making eye contact with people. I wasn't like talking to the nurses. I was just kind of like in my zone, and I had the 40 blinks on still a lot during this part. And we got to a point where we were in the bathroom. I was sitting on the toilet with Nico and Brittany, our doula, and we got to a point where I just, like, I felt like it was so intense, and I said to them, like, you guys, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it all the way to the end. Mm-hmm. And they were amazing. Brittany started telling me, she's like, Megan, you can do this. You got this. They both talked me through it until they were like, okay, you're at a 10. You can start pushing. So that was probably like 2 hours after we got to the hospital. So it progressed pretty fast once we got there. And once they said that, I had been pushing through all of my surges since I got to the hospital, and they were not because I wanted to, just because that's what my body was doing. So once they said you can start pushing now, I was like, okay, here we go. My doula was like, all right, let's have you guys go to the bathroom and take a few more contractions or surges in there, and then come out and like we can cross the finish line. So and that was I will never forget that. I'm so grateful for her for suggesting that, because she sent us to the bathroom, and at this point, like I wasn't talking, but we sat down, and Nico and I just were able to like have a moment, just the two of us. She closed the door, and we just looked at each other. I had to stare. I had to look into his eyes for that strength and support, because I was so like pretty much just beat at this point. And I'll never forget that, because I truly felt like I couldn't have done it like without you. Also, you cried a lot.
Yeah, it was definitely a team effort. I mean, yep, I think I've cried every single day since we've had this baby. But yeah, it was absolutely like a team effort, and I just remember like telling her, like, you are incredible, like you're a champ. And it was just that like moment of clarity. We walked, back out to the table.
Yep.
Brittany had put Megan in on all fours, and
they leaned the back of the hospital bed up, and so I was on my knees on the bed and holding onto the back of the bed, which was great. I really liked that position for pushing, and then they said, okay, here we go. And so I think we had 5 surges, and then the baby was out, but it was awesome because Nico was able to see as the head was coming, and he would like go down, check it out, come up and tell me how it was going. Like, I can see hair, I can see his hair legs. And Brittany had me reach down and feel his head, which was amazing. And yeah, I mean, as his head, it felt like his head was halfway out for a really long time. And so it was helpful to have those progress updates, because I felt like I was getting nowhere. And it just like Care talks about in class, it was like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and I felt like we were in that phase for a long time. But yeah, and then finally he came out, and they passed him to me through my legs, and I turned over, and we waited for the cord to finish pulsing, and Nico got to cut the cord, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
And he was immediately on my chest, which was awesome. I didn't have to ask for that. They just that was their standard protocol, and they stitched me up a little bit. I had a 2nd-degree tear, and while they were doing that, he was already latching on, which was awesome. And yeah,
he was born at 11:45, so water broke at 12:30 in the morning. He was born less than almost like 11 hours later.
Yeah. So it was way faster than we were expecting. I thought we were gonna have more time to like doing the movement stuff and like breathing through it, but once we got to the hospital, it was really hard for me to like focus on trying different things. It was
just focused on
making it through.
Yeah.
My whole body. I mean, oh my gosh, it was the most intense, physically intense, challenging thing I've ever been through, but by far the most meaningful experience that I've ever had. It was incredible. It was incredible, and truly, I think like the things that we learned in this class about supporting each other are fundamental to having like a successful birth for what we're all looking for. Like it was totally natural. We didn't use any medications or anything like that. But like the best relationship building and bonding experience, like I will never forget. I'll never forget that ever. It was amazing. So yeah.
If you like this video, share it with a friend and subscribe to our page. And for more information, go to birtheducationcenter.com to help rewrite your birth.